Hello BookTube and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with the Friday Reads. This is so super exciting for me. Friday Reads videos are my very favorite BookTube videos to watch. I think they were some of the first videos I ever came across on BookTube, and they're some of my favorite videos to film because they're quick and short and they get the point across. I have now tried to film this about 3 times. I got a phone call from my mother, and the cat started crying at me because the complaints department is obviously open this morning. So yes, Friday Reads videos. I am so stoked because for the foreseeable future, I will get to film these every week, and I am so excited about that. Not only because I get to film these, but because of the reason why, and mine and my husband's situation has changed for the better. For about the last 9 months, little quick story here, for about the last 9 months, my husband's been working the third shift. He works in a warehouse. He does sanitation. And third shift is 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. Now my hours, I work in an office, and I work 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. I work for the West Coast, so I'm there later than anybody else in the office generally. But for the West Coast, I'm in Toronto, which is Eastern Standard Time. That's like, what, 3 or 4 hours behind California. If we all leave at 5 o'clock, that means at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they can't get in touch with anyone. So I'm sure a lot of people who work in an office totally understand the whole West Coast hours thing. But anyway, it doesn't bother me because I get to kind of relax in the morning. So back to our situation changing. My husband found out exactly a week ago today that the position he applied for at work, which is the same job he's doing now, but he's going down to first shift, which is 7:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon. And that started effective Sunday. So he's been doing this almost a week now. His days off still aren't the greatest. He works split shift, so he's off on Saturdays and Tuesdays. But we decided that that works for us right now. Saturdays we can do stuff together that needs to be done, grocery shopping or just hanging out or whatever. And then he's got Tuesdays to do whatever he wants to do, if he wants to go see a movie or whatever. And I have Sundays to do the same. So that means, because I have to get up and drive him to work in the morning, we generally get up about 6, and then I'm usually back at the apartment here by like 7 a.m. I have like 2 hours before I actually have to go to work. So I can sit here on a Friday now and film the Friday Reads videos for you guys, which is so exciting. So, whole long story to get into the fact that it's been a good week for us, needless to say. So, let's jump into what I'm going to be reading today and for the rest of the weekend probably. So I literally just started this morning because I just finished The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson, which I enjoyed. I gave it 3 stars. Stay tuned for my review at the end of the month. But I just started this morning Sacred Evil by Heather Graham, which is the 3rd book in the Crew of Hunters series. I'm trying something new here by having the images, the cover images on my phone. I know it's a little glary, but the way I was doing it before with inserting the picture, I actually had to edit the video twice to do that, which is a big pain in the patokas. So this is easier for me. But yes, so the 3rd book in the Crew of Hunters series, excuse me. I'm literally 1 chapter in, and the person has already been killed. So what I love about Heather Graham is that she jumps right into the action. There's not a lot of backstory. So essentially what this story is about a woman, a young starlet, who is murdered and left in one of New York City's largest cemeteries. And the killer is emulating the work of Jack the Ripper. So this will be really interesting. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And it follows one of the characters from the first 2 books. And I think the first 4 or 5 books follow those same group of characters. But then after that, they change and there's different members of the team, because the Crew of Hunters is essentially a paranormal investigations team headed up from the FBI. Again, think the X-Files. So far I am really enjoying this, but like I said, I'm only a chapter in, so let's see how it goes. And the book that I'm currently listening to on audio is A Storm of Witchcraft, The Salem Trials and the American Experience by Emerson W. Baker. I'm about 2 hours into this right now. I am enjoying it. It's very textbooky. So far, they've actually gone through all of the witch trials and the chain of events and who was executed and when, And now they're kind of going back to give you what was happening in Salem Village and in the Massachusetts Bay Colony area at the time that brought on this mass panic of witches, because it wasn't just in Salem proper. That's the city that most people think about when they think of the Salem of the witch trials in North America, but they were happening in Connecticut and Boston and Maine, and they're kind of getting into the backstory of that. I generally try not to increase the speed of listening to the audiobook. I know a lot of people, they say they read very quickly and have to listen to very quickly. I can read quickly, but to really, especially when it's something like this that's more nonfiction, I need to be able to take it in. So I tend to listen to it at 1x speed, but I've actually upped this to 1.25 because he does speak very slowly. So I've upped it just a bit, and it's still interesting. I listen to it on my way to work. I am fascinated with this period of history and this situation in whole. One of my dream trips in all reality is to go to Salem, and I want to be there to see it. I don't know why I'm so enthralled with it, but I am. I just find it so interesting that, you know, rational people could believe these things, but then again, you're going back 400 years, and, you know, or almost 400 years, and, you know, they believed in a lot of different things back then than people do now. People nowadays are a little bit more rational, and they understand, you know, science and nature and all those things. Now, for the whole fact of witches themselves, it is a legitimate religion in the United States and in North America, and I think in a lot of places throughout the world. But that's not what this is about. This is more about the witches of popular culture and, you know, the witches of our imagination. Those were the witches that these people were thinking that these other people were. So again, it's really interesting. It's very textbooky, but I will let you guys know more about it when I finish it and when I do my wrap up at the end of the month. So anyway, that's all that I'm going to be reading this weekend, because I just started the Heather Graham book. I don't know if I'm going to get it done this weekend. Garrett and I are doing running around tomorrow, and then on Sunday it's family dinner over at my grandmother's house. So yeah, kind of a busier weekend for me, but I did want to mention before I go, this is Friday, November the 11th. For those of you in Canada, this is Remembrance Day, and I'm not wearing my poppy, and I feel bad about that. It's over on my jacket. But for my American friends who don't know, this is the day that we honor and remember the people who served in the military and the people who are currently serving in the military. And at 11:11 a.m. this morning, we do a minute of silence. Like, the entire country pretty much shuts down. In the city of Toronto, I think the buses stop and the subways stop, and, you know, everything kind of comes to a halt at 11:11 in the morning for a moment of silence for all those serving in our military. And a special shout out, even though he's no longer with us, my grandfather, who passed away 2 years ago, he was 92 when he died. He served in World War II. He was a pilot. No, he wasn't a pilot. He fixed the planes. He wasn't frontline fighting in the war. He wasn't even in Europe. He was actually stationed in Barbados. I know, lucky guy, right? But he fixed the planes, and even though he didn't see the fighting firsthand, he was still a very important part of the war effort, and for that I thank him, and I thank all the veterans and everyone who's currently serving. And anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below what you're reading this weekend, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.